How's it going, everybody? Rob right here today, and we're back with our Buffalo Sabres franchise mode. And in today's episode, we are in round one of the playoffs against the Detroit Red Wings, which is a team I have not seen very often in the playoffs, and I don't think ever so far this season. But before we get started, guys, I've noticed on my channel analytics that a lot of you aren't subscribed. That like 20% of you are subscribed. Come on, we can do better than that. You're watching the video, you might as well hit the subscribe button, right? Like, come on, we're going for 2K by the time NHL 21 comes out. I've got a good feeling about 21. I actually do have a good feeling about this season of video games. But I also have a good feeling about this series against the Detroit Red Wings. I mean, we went 58-19-5. They went 40-32-10. I mean, we were both 4-4-2 in our last 10. The FIFA Weekend League in me sees that as a 4-4-2 formation. But we're going to, speaking of formations, we're going to go ahead and see what Detroit will be throwing at us here. What are their lines looking like? Svechnikov, Larkin, who's up to a 92 now. Jesus, seriously? And then Philip Zadina. So that's actually a good 1-2-3. Two-way forward, so that's probably a good chemistry as well. Fabry, Rasmussen, and Mantha. Okay, Fabry is a sniper, power forward. Interesting combo there. They got Tyler Bertuzzi, Philippe Deneau, and then Taro Heroes on the third line. That's actually a really good third. Their third line's better than their... What? Why? Why are you... Okay, I don't know why they would have Philippe Deneau or Tyler Bertuzzi there on the third line. And not have over Rasmussen and Fabry, but it is what it is. And then their fourth line has a Tyler Johnson, who's 82 overall, and, well, he's not too overpaid. I was going to say he was very overpaid for what he provided, but he's off his $5 million contract. So Perlini, Steen, Johnson. So, wow, a lot two guys here that could be very overpaid at one point, but two-way forwards that are both pretty good at what they do. And then Perlini here is a sniper, 75. So we'll see how he does and how he matches up with us. Looking at their defensive core, it is bad. It is a very, 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 very bad defensive core. 83-84, 82-82, and 73-81. So 83-84 is not the worst I've ever seen. Heck, I've had a defensive core like that, and they actually made it to the playoffs just like Detroit did, but they didn't go very far. So it's just not a really good defensive core. And then in goal, to get anybody that carried him here, Robin Lehner last season actually made the playoffs, but during the regular season, he has not been too spectacular, not in Detroit. Above a 3.00 or goal against average, that's not good at all. Lots of defensemen here, but nobody of quality or note that's going to come in and scare me, so that's what they have. We're listed as the champions, so this should not be too difficult of a series. We've got Olofsson, Eichel, Reinhart with the +5, Skinner, Middlestat, Kreider, Richie, Cousins, Thomas, and guys, Middlestat's an 88. You'll absolutely love to see that. 93 passing, 93 offensive awareness, 91 defensive awareness. He's in a line with Skinner, who's got 90 wrist shot accuracy, 93 offensive awareness, and then Chris Kreider, who's not necessarily going to contribute more than just being a power forward to get the +5, really. I mean, like 84 offensive awareness, 85 passing, and 84 wrist shot accuracy are not exactly what you want to see from a second liner, but it is what it is. He doesn't exactly sell defensively either, but he excels physically, so maybe he'll just be a physical presence for Middlestat and Skinner to open up some of the ice. Then we've got Richie, Cousins, and Thomas. Speaking of physical presence, we've got both Richie and Dylan Cousins on that line. Dylan Cousins, whoo boy, looks sick. He cannot shoot, but he can pass, so maybe if we need to, we bump him up there for Chris Kreider if something goes wrong during this playoffs. And then finally, we've got Asplund with Iafallo and Scott Wilson, who have been, okay. They're a fourth line. It's a decent fourth line. It's not great. But then on defense, we've got Dahlin and Ristolainen, who are going to be the pairing for as long as I can have this GM mode go. Risto's contract is expiring, so there's no doubt he's going to ask for a serious raise from his $5.4 million contract. Rasmus Dahlin, we might have actually signed Risto, I can't remember. But Gustafsson and Yoki Haru, both sitting at an 84, looking very nice. And then Pilot and Miller. Pilot's one of those guys that's just a sneaky simmer. 87 passing, 86 defensive awareness, 85 offensive awareness. And then Colin Miller, 87, 86, 85. They're just solid, as solid as you can get, really, for a third pairing, and I'm very pleased with that. And then in goal, we've got the young man, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, 23 years of age, now our starting goaltender at 84 overall. Linus Ullmark there to back him up. Maybe if we need to, Linus can bring back some of his magic from playoffs, first playoff run when we went to the Stanley Cup Finals. But here in year number 3, I believe, I always do, this is year number 3. Let's see if we can make it better than our first year's run. See if we can actually win the cup, because we made it to the cup, but McDavid and Draisaitl just went off. So we definitely have a much better team than last season when we got bounced from the playoffs, and definitely better than the first season, which was just a magical run. But let's see. Game number 1 against Detroit. Let's get it underway, boys. No more preview. It's time for the actual action. So in the first period, we take a 2-0 lead with Jeff Skinner and Nick Ritchie scoring about 5 minutes into the period. Second period sees us extend our lead to 3-0. And the shots are heavily in our favor. We had a power play. We have another power play. Seems like Detroit is taking a lot of penalties, and Rasmus Dahlin, while it's not on the power play, is going to score at 4:58 into the third period there. Give us a 4-0 lead, and that's pretty much all she wrote for this one. Detroit's going to get a power play. Can they snap the shutout? They can. Robbie Fabry, the second liner, goes ahead and snaps Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen's shutout. And I believe this is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen's first ever playoff win and first ever playoff appearance in the NHL. And what a way to do it with a 4-1 victory. Absolutely love to see that. Really in no danger when he did let in that one goal. It wasn't like we had to come back afterwards. We were already up comfortably at 4-0. So that sets a good precedent for game number 2 if we can take care of business here at home. I have a good feeling about the 2 road games too. First period sees nothing happen. We absolutely obliterate them in shots, though. Mr. Flex Seal is really enjoying his time down in Rochester. Second period, and we are up 1-0 with Nick Ritchie in that third line, that Dylan Cousins line doing work, boys. I was worried about Detroit's third line, but it seems like with Ritchie scoring, speaking of scoring, we just scored twice. First line, Sam Reinhart. Second line, Casey Middlestat, just 8 seconds later. But as I was going to say, the third line matchup was really what I was afraid of. I know third lines really aren't going to carry a team when you're talking about the Stanley Cup playoffs, but your depth really does matter. So I was worried about the way they were looking on that third line. Their third line looks better than their second line. But when I saw the way Cousins looked, just like his passing and his offensive awareness, he looks like he's absolutely going to just bang home assists nonstop. And as long as you can surround him with guys that can shoot, that's all that matters. But there you go, boys. As I'm talking about matchups, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen gets his first career playoff shutout in his second career playoff game. And Chris Kreider, I said, was just kind of there on that second line. Well, he seems to be doing just fine as we get back-to-back 3-goal victories. Okay, now we've got the first game on the road. Can we go ahead and just really take the control of this series? We already got the strong advantage in this series, up 2-0, but that can change quickly heading to Detroit. So if we can just go ahead, stop any kind of hope Detroit had early, that would be fantastic. First period, we're up 2-0. Jack Eichel leads the team in game number 3, putting his stamp on the game, followed by Nick Ritchie and that third line, who have been really, really good. Second period sees us score 3 more. Jack Eichel again leading the line. Robert Thomas, the acquisition for Connor Sheary, I believe, who moved everywhere in the last episode. And then Sam Reinhart on the power play. And I'm just going to quick sim this third period. And it's going to be a 7-0 victory as Chris Kreider scores again. And Victor Olofsson rounds out the first line's hat trick with each of those players getting themselves a goal. Jack Eichel now comfortably leads the team with 5 points in 3 games. Good work for him. 3 assists per game, 2 goals as well. So those 2 goals came in that last game, and hopefully we can see Jack Eichel put together less streaky performance. He kind of does it in bursts from what I can see so far. He's awfully quiet, and then he'll just absolutely explode in a game and then lead the team. But we've got game number 4 here, potentially to close out the series in an early 4-game sweep, but you can't count your chickens before they're hatched. So we got to take care of business here in Detroit. First period. So far, so good. Sam Reinhart in that first line looking good. Second period. There we go. Victor Olofsson in the first line. And then the power play with Casey Middlestat. Guys, we've got a great 1-2 punch with the first line of Olofsson, Eichel, Reinhart. And then the second line of Middlestat and Jeff Skinner. I mean, Chris Kreider there too. I can't discount what he's been doing. He's been good. But Robbie Fabry goes ahead and... Oh my, that was just 27 seconds apart, but Jeff Skinner gets us that insurance marker we desperately needed there as Detroit tried to mount a late comeback here in the series, in the game, not so late, but in the series. It's pretty much done as Nick Ritchie goes ahead and gets us a 3-goal lead, and that third line, Alex Steen on the fourth line, scores on Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen as he's kind of let his foot off the gas here in game number 4. A fantastic first 3 games. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen does kind of let down, but Detroit must have been pushing pretty hard here in game number 4 to not get swept. But it doesn't matter, boys. Bring out the brooms. Leave a like if you already had your brooms out, boys. Brooms out. Like it up in the for me, boys, and we are done. That is it. That is all she wrote for this first series. And you know what? I gotta say, I think this is the first time I felt that EA has comfortably given me a win that my team definitely deserved. I feel like I'm one of the unluckiest Chell YouTubers out there. I lost 3 straight Stanley Cup finals in 3 different series. Like video, lost in the Stanley Cup. It hurt, okay? So it's about time we had something go our way, and rightfully the sim gives us a 4-0 sweep of Detroit. Now, if we would have won in 7, it still would have been deserved, but that would have been a really good performance there from Detroit. But we got a lot of rest here, boys, before we see who we're taking on next. It's either Toronto or Tampa, I believe, is how this one's going to shake out. It is over, and boys, we got a good one in round number 2. It is the Toronto Maple Leafs visiting your Buffalo Sabres. A heated rivalry between 2 franchises that don't really like each other very much. 2 American superstars going head-to-head in Austin Matthews and Jack Eichel. Which one of these 2 franchises is going to come out on top? I believe Toronto's already broken their Stanley Cup drought in our universe here. Is it time for us to break ours? We have to get past Toronto, and that's going to have to wait for the next episode, boys. But if you like this one, make sure to leave a like. If you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.